We'll continue with the Nocturnals, and we started from yesterday with the Hawamim, all the surahs that begin with Ha-Mim, one of the Huruf al-Muqatta'a, with which the 7 surahs begin with, from Ghafir down to Jasiyah and Ahqaf. Naturally, they have some thematic unity, a unity of the theme between these surahs. Without going too much into explaining these huruf that we discussed earlier, that they constitute part of Allah's name Ar-Rahman. That Alif Lam Raz represent the first 3 letters of Allah's name Ar-Rahman, and the Ha Mim represent the 2 names after that, the 2 letters, which is the Ar-Rahman Ha Mim, and then eventually we have Noon at the very end. So Ar-Rahman is sort of the all-encompassing name of God, under which all the 99 names, 98 names without Ar-Rahman subsume. And the letters, alphabet, that are found at the beginning of these surahs is 14 letters. And those 14 letters represent the 14 components of the 7 words of God. So we see that consistently that these letters sort of, and the 7 words, or the 14 components and the 7 words they represent, constitute the body of the Quran, the word of God. Because the words of God, Kalimatullah, are the roots for the names of God, and the names of God are the origin of creation. So you have 14, in terms of space, you have 7 earth and 7 heavens, which makes 14, and you have 6 days. So those 14, if you multiply by the 6 days, space by time, that gives you 84, which is exactly the number of 1,000 nights, which is the night of Qadr, as we discussed earlier. But inshallah, we'll have more to say about that on the night of, on the 27th, the day of Qadr al-Quran. So the Ghafir begins with the story of Sayyidina Musa and his struggle we discussed that yesterday, and with Fir'aun. And today it goes into Fussilat, which begins again with the story of creation, the beginning of creation, of the second creation, which is the creation of the heavens and the earth. So that's called the second. In other words, the creation in detail, because creation went through 2 phases. The first creation, where everything was made whole, made one. Second creation, where everything was broken into its individual constituents. So anyway, so that this Surah Fussilat gives us a very important detail about how when we talk about the 6 periods of creation, how it actually happened, and the steps and the phases they went through. So the first phase, the first 2 periods, so it goes by 2-2. The first 2 periods, that was if the heaven and the earth were parted, were divided into 2. قل إنكم لتكفرون بالذي خلق الأرض في يومين وتجعلون له أندادا ذلك رب العالمين. So in the first 2 days, first two periods. So the idea of parity, pair, not one day, but in first 2 days, that the partition, the parting of the earth and what is going to become the earth and what is going to become the heaven. That took place. The fatq. فَفَتَقْنَاهُمَا وَجَعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ حَيٍّ. And then in the next two periods after the partition is the formation of the earth. So what was meant to be the earth was formed and put into its proper shape. Its proper shape. And then in that second two periods, the mountains also were all placed on the earth. So the earth was prepared first. The sky is still unformed. So first two period, Yawmain, then the second Yawmain, 2 days or 2 periods. وَجَعَلَ فِيهَا رَوَاسِيَ مِنْ فَوْقِهَا وَبَارَكَ فِيهَا. Allah put mountains on the earth in the second 2 days and placed there in all the blessings, meaning that the provisions, the water, the food, everything that the future population of the earth, which is the human beings, will need, was already put in the earth. وَلَقَدْ مَكَّنَّاكُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَجَعَلْنَا لَكُمْ فِيهَا مَعَايِشَ. We have empowered you. Before human being was created, we have empowered you on the earth and we place livelihood for you. قَلِيلًا مَا تَشْكُرُونَ. Not even before human being was even created. But because this was being prepared for the human being. So وَقَدَّرَ فِيهَا أَقْوَاتَهَا فِي أَرْبَعَةِ أَيَّامٍ. So the first 2 days and the next 2 days, that's 4 days now. So within the 4 days, the 4 periods, the earth was fully formed by itself, without any connection to the part that's going to become the heavens. So now, the last 2 days, next 2 days that's yet to come, something important happened at that junction. Now it is it's going to be the creation of the heaven now. But before that takes place, before the earth and the heaven were paired, so that the heaven can also be detailed and put in its final shape. ثم استوى إلى السماء وهي دخان. Then God, after this finishing the formation of the earth, with the mountain to stabilize the earth, with the water, أخرج منها ماءها ومرعاها والجبال أرساها, the water, the vegetation, everything was that those who are going to inhabit the earth need was put there. So anything that is created in these 4 days is for everyone. It's put there for everyone that God will place on this earth. Whether believer or not, it doesn't matter. Anyone. These 4 days, so on the side. The next, what is going to be created next in the next 2 days, that is not made available for everyone. It's going to be by choice. If you choose it, you get it. If you don't choose it, then you are limited to what is in the 4 days. So he said to ثم فقال لها, when he turned to the earth or the heaven or the firmament, at this point it is unformed. That's why he calls it a vapor, a smoke, a shadow. It's all the underlying definition is it's being unformed. It doesn't have a fixed, definite shape. That's what that translates into. فَقَالَ لَهَا, in this unformed state, God addressed it and said to her, come. قال لها وللأرض, and said to the heavens, the firmament, in its unformed state, and the earth in its already formed state. Said to them, both of you come. Yeah. That's why we said that this, whatever is going to happen in these next 2 days, is only accessible by choice. If you choose, and what that comes with that is that if you submit to God, if you accept to be a believer and so forth, then whatever is going to happen next, you have access to that. Otherwise, you are limited to what it was in the 4 days. You have no access in the life that is beyond the earth. Your life is limited to what is in the earth. But if you accept to come willingly, meaning to submit to God, then you have the door of heaven will open to you. And you have access to whatever is created in the next 2 days will be available to you. So I said that, and they said to God, we come willingly. Then فَسَوَّاهُنَّ سَبْعَ سَمَاوَاتٍ. Based on that responding, then he expanded them in the 7 heavens. From one unformed, you can notice the Quranic language, wherever he says sama, or he says samawat. So, because in the beginning he said, summa stawa ila sama. That's the one heaven, the one that was there at the beginning. It's only one. Has not been expanded. So sama, and the next he said, فَسَوَّاهُنَّ سَبْعَ سَمَاوَاتٍ. After responding, سَبْعَ سَمَاوَاتٍ فِي يَوْمٍ, in the next 2 days. Then, and those next 2 days, and then he placed the stars. So anything that it comes after this, in this next 2 days, after these 4 days, this is only accessible truly to the believers and those who submit to God. وَأَوْحَى فِي كُلِّ سَمَاءٍ أَمْرَهَا. The commandment. So this is the commandment because it's based on the commandment. عَالَمُ الْخَلْقِ, عَالَمُ الْأَمْرِ. The domain of creation, domain of commandment. So that's alamul amr. It's only accessible to those who obey the commandment. So awha fi kulli sama'in amraha. He placed his commandment in each of the 7 heavens. كل سماء أمرها وزينا السماء الدنيا بمصابيح وحفظها. Then we place the lower heaven with mountain. We decorated it with stars, and also protected with stars. Stars become the sentry, the sentinel, the guardians of what is in the 7 heavens. And they determine who can come in and who can't come, who can have access to what is within the 7 heavens and who cannot. We place them on the one hand, they are ornaments for the heaven. On the other hand, they are protection for the heaven. They do both function of to preserve and to protect. So by their ornamentation, they attract the believers. They pull the believers inward. Who said, وَجَعَلْنَا فِي السَّمَاءِ بُرُوجًا وَزَيَّنَّاهَا لِلنَّاذِرِينَ. We place constellations or groups of stars, في السماء بروجا, which is the lower heaven, which is the doorway in the rest of the heaven, gateway. So all these ideas that movies they make Stargate and all these are all based on some kind of Quranic information that name stars as gateways, as doorways, which is as the Quran says, Asbabu samawati wal ard. So anyway, Allah bless. So these stars are both ornaments and at the same time protection. They attract the nadhirin, the gazers, those who are allowed to look at the stars and track them. And but also وَحَفِظْنَاهَا مِنْ كُلِّ شَيْطَانٍ رَجِيمٍ. We guard it also. So they are guardians also of the heaven. So they do this double function of being inviters, also repellers. They repel some, those who don't have permission, and those who have no sultan, they repel them. And those who come with sultan, they admit them. They are allowed to enter. So these details only in this surah is a very important detail that it gives us about how creation actually took place. As God says, قُلْ سِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ فَانْظُرُوا كَيْفَ بَدَأَ الْخَلْقَ. Travel in the land, in the earth, and see how God began creation, how it started. So that's Surah Fussilat, and it continues with story of different nations. Ad, who boasted about their power and strength. And then God said, don't they know God who created them is stronger than them naturally? And Samud, فَهَدَيْنَاهُمْ فَزَابُنَا مَعَدَ الْهُدَى. Allah said, we guided them, but they chose blindness over seeing, as many people do. You want to open their eyes, they don't want you to open their eyes. They choose to be blind over seeing. وَلِيَعْزُ بِاللَّهِ اسْتَحَبُّ الْعَمَى عَلَى الْهُدَى. Then the surah continues with that and give us a view of some of the things that happen on the day of judgment, especially your own faculties being witnesses against you. تشهد عليهم سمعهم وأبصارهم وجلودهم بما كانوا يعملون. Their skin, their hearing, and their sight, because these faculties, they are independent entities that are added to you. They are not created with you. Eyes are created with you, but not sight. Hearing is ears are created with you, but not hearing. So, shu'ur, which comes through your skin, skin is created, but not shu'ur. So these are the faculties that these are conveys of these faculties. So therefore, they are independent of you. They stand out of you and witness against you. So when that happens, they wonder. They say, "Lima shahidtum alayna." Why are you witnessing against us? قالوا أنطقنا الله الذي ينطق كل شيء وخلقكم أول مرة. We have been made to speak by the one who has made everything to speak.